All right, this is it. Last week, 9 weeks. Have you hung in there with us for all 9 weeks? If you haven't, or maybe you've missed a couple, just go back in our devotionals and just rewatch some of these videos. I think it might be really encouraging and may give you some insight into even some of the teachings of Jesus. Everything revolves around, again, these two worlds. This world is entered by the blood and by faith and by God's grace. So we enter and then we go through our baptism and then we enter a world where we don't really know where we're going and we're walking with a God that we can't see. And yet it's more real and more vibrant and has a city. It's a city that has foundations. But we're going to see something extraordinary in this concluding video this week. And here it is. I'm just going to read a little bit of this. Sometimes you just have to read the Bible. Listen to this. Let it wash over your soul. It says in verse 31, by faith Rahab the harlot did not perish along with those who were disobedient because she had welcomed the spies. Courage, faith. She believed that, there's the promise. How much she understood, I don't know, but she played her role. What more shall I say? Now Paul almost feels like he's running out of time because he could spend days talking about this. And he says this, what shall I say? The time will fail me if I talk about Gideon and Barak and Samson and Jephthah and David and Samuel and the prophets who, by faith, remember 19 times by faith, conquered kingdoms. We can talk about that. And David, some of these conquered kingdoms and various acts of righteousness, performed acts of righteousness, obtained promises, shut the mouths of lions. We know that happened with Daniel. They quenched the power of fire, escaped the edge of the sword. From weakness, were made strong. That's encouraging to me. Became mighty in war, put foreign armies to flight. Women received back their dead by resurrection. But then catch this. This happens in the unseen realm as well, and others were tortured, not accepting their release so that they might obtain a better resurrection. Others experience mockings and scourgings and, yes, even chains and imprisonment. They were stoned. They were sawn in two. Many people believe, tradition tells us that Isaiah maybe was sawn in two by a wooden saw. Can you imagine? Can you even imagine that? Isaiah, the great prophet who saw the coming of the light of the nations. And all I do is talk about Isaiah. Isaiah is quoted more in the New Testament than any other guy. He played his role. And how did it end? And being cut in half? They were tempted. They were put to death with a sword. They went about in sheepskins and goatskins, being destitute, afflicted, ill-treated. Men of whom this world was not worthy. They wandered in deserts and mountains and caves and holes in the ground. Now, here's the point, and this is our conclusion. Now, this is drum roll, please. You ready? And all these, having gained approval through their faith. Now, people freak out about that. They think, I don't have to gain approval. Faith without works is dead. What does that even mean? People sometimes think, if I've got to have faith, then I got to prove it with my works. No, faith comes and God gives you your role in this cosmic restoration process. And then his Spirit leads you into that. It's not just having faith and then somebody giving you a list of things to do so you can kind of somehow feel as if your faith is acting. Faith is an ongoing relational, listening and responding relationship so that you can play your role in this cosmic restoration project. That's so important to understand. You have to walk in the unseen, not just follow a list of rules that somehow maybe confirm in your mind that you have faith. But they gain their approval by entering into this reclamation project, if you will. And yet, are you ready for this? This is the wild part. They did not receive what was promised. What? Because God had provided something better for us so that apart from us, they would not be made perfect. What does that mean? They didn't receive what was promised. I'll make it clear. This world, they didn't receive it in this world. Did they receive the promise? Oh, yes, they're going to receive the promise. But oftentimes, many of these, though sometimes they receive their promise in this seen realm, but they're going to receive it once Jesus comes back, because he's the ultimate. He's the one that's going to restore all things. But that restoration, folks, has already started. May start right at your own club. That may be a role that God calls you to play. So I think in conclusion, you have to have a passion. Those who come to God must believe that he is and that he is a rewarder of those who diligently seek him. That reward, that's happening over here. Not just by us but trying to do some religious things or go to a church or just do some things that we somehow think are religious. It's a walking, relational, dynamic, scary, confrontational, in need of courage. I mean, it's fraught with all kinds of persecution, and you see what happened with our forefathers. Should it be any different for us today? So anyway, I hope that you have birthed in you such a deep passion to be part of this cosmic restoration process, because it's Jesus' heart for you. Because in doing so, you guys are going to walk yoked together, because you'll have to be close. It's scary on the side. You have to be close with him so you can hear that voice behind you. Turn to the left and turn to the right. And that's what it means to be a follower. It's a spirit-led life. So anyway, I hope that helps you in your ideas of faith and provokes some thought in your groups. And we love you, and we're excited about being able to serve you in this way. Hope you have a great and glorious day.